today because you'll already realise what an extraordinary opportunity you've got your hands on. Or maybe some of you are brand new in here and you're going home realising how lucky you are. Is anyone feeling like they've hit the jackpot? What I would say to you, for me, it hasn't always been that way. You know, you don't just talk to people and they get started straight away. It's about consistency and following up. I know that from my own story. So some of you might know my mum's been in the business for well over 20 years. She talked to me for 10 years before I got started. So I wasn't one that was really quick, got going, really excited. It took Mum 10 years of following up. So I hope you go home today with that one thing in your mind, that what we have to do to recruit consistently is to follow up all the time. For me, it took me 2 years to get to manager. I was never a great recruiter when I started, but it was something that I had to master. And every one of you in this room, if you want to build a big business, a business that's going to pay you for life, pay your children for life, and pay your grandchildren for life, then you've got to commit to mastering the basics. And the basics are recruiting, because recruiting is the lifeblood of your business. It took me 2 years to really learn the value of setting goals. Lots of you will know the story about my little boy, Will. He was 4 years old and he told his nursery school teacher that I was taking him to Disney. We'd never made that plan, but I looked into his excited eyes and there was no way Mummy was not going to make it happen. So that's when I started setting goals. So you can see in these images some of the wonderful things, the experiences that I've been able to give the children. This bottom photo, don't know which way I'm pointing. Will and Rosie in their ski goggles. Mum and Dad took me skiing every year from age 2. I was a single parent. How was I going to do that for my kids? I realised I could if I recruited. I had a dream of sending Will and Rosie to private school. You know, they've been in private school for about the last 6 years now, funded by me. I wanted to be able to buy my dream home. We've just renovated an old farmhouse from top to bottom. It's more than I ever dreamt possible. For my 40th birthday, I wanted to take the kids on safari. My brother lives in South Africa, so I wanted my whole family to go. So we had the most incredible trip as a family. Lots of you will know my sister is also in the business too. She ignored me for 7 years, but 7 years I followed up. You're going to see her recognise next. So it's all, you'll hear it again and again, that the fortune is in the follow-up. And now, of course, I've had Phoebe. And Phoebe, you know, has taught me so much and forever has taught me the value of time. I've put hard work and consistency in, and I've been able to have time with my new baby. And that's down to everything that Forever gives you if you're prepared to work for it. And it's totally about being prepared to work. So I've been in the business for 12 years, 5 months. Like I said, I wasn't great at recruiting when I started, but I learnt, I mastered it, and now this is my stats. So I've recruited 302 people. You might think, oh my word, that's huge. Break it down. It's just 2 people per month to deliver the lifestyle that I've just showed you. Do you think it's worth mastering those basics? Put your hands up. Do you want that lifestyle, a little bit of that lifestyle? It's learning the basics. So, let alone my monthly income, that basic recruitment commitment has delivered me over $2 million in chairman's bonus alone. Who's going to work for it? Bob stole my slide this morning. You've heard this already. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely right. So I just want you to think for a moment, how do you feel about recruitment? What do you say to yourself? I know those first 2 years before I was committed, I was listening to the neg head on my shoulder. I was listening to me saying, you can't do it, you're not worthy, you'll never do that. But when Will wanted to go to Disney, I put him on this shoulder. And the fear was less because Will was saying, Mummy, you can do it. Mummy, you can take us there. I thought my kids deserved the best education. I didn't have a private education, but that's what I wanted for them. So I started to listen to Will rather than the neg head. So what are you saying to yourself on a daily basis? What's your self-talk? How do you get up in the morning? When you write your contact list each week, if you do that, what are you saying to yourself? Are you saying it's too hard? I've run out of people. I'm great at selling, but I just can't recruit. No one wants to join me. Too many people are doing it. People are never going to pay $199.75. Everyone just ignores me. No one's interested. I don't know enough people. So I want you to think what your goal is. I want you to think why you're here today. Why have you given up your Saturday? I'm sure lots of you, like me, have left children, had to organize children. And I want you to put that reason on your other shoulder. I want you to start listening to that reason because we can all change our thinking. Our mindset is what will move our business forward, what we're telling ourselves. You've got to be attractive to other people, and that attraction starts from what you're saying to yourself. So, the opportunity is huge. I'm a professional life changer. How many lives am I going to change today? Lots of you all know Juliana Bevan gets up in the morning and does a little dance, telling herself, how many lives am I going to change today? I'm a recruitment magnet. You've seen those people coming up and get the cases. They're the same as you, but they're just having really good self-talk. How lucky is this person I'm inviting to look at this business opportunity? Everyone wants to join me. I'm inundated with people. It's less than £200 to start a business that can deliver that lifestyle. So if you haven't done a dream book, you haven't set goals, go home today and do it. You heard this morning, I'm trying to think who was speaking, Natalie Valenti, talking about how can you set a recruitment goal if you don't know what you're working towards? How can you decide how many people you are committed to bring into your business if you don't know what you're working towards? So take the time that's needed that's going to do that. So what was my plan to get to where I wanted to be? You've got to write your who do you know list, and you've got to imagine you're developing a funnel. And you need at least 20 people in that funnel at any one time to be able to recruit 1 to 2 people. If you want to be recruiting more, put more people into the funnel. This business isn't hard, it's so simple. But they're only in that funnel if you've contacted them. Not that you've sent them a message, they haven't replied. Not that you've sent out a video, they haven't opened the message. You've had a conversation with someone, they've agreed to sit down with you, or they've agreed to watch something. So they're engaged with you. So then they become in the funnel. Next step is we're going to take them to the business presentation. And they're going to say yes or no. It doesn't matter what they say, we just want them through the funnel. Because if they say no, they just go back on that who do you know list? I said no for 10 years. My sister said no for 17 years. They go back on the list. It's not over. It's just not ready right now. And if they say yes, we start the plan. We start them building their funnel so they can get their people coming through. So my commitment was always, and still is, 5 contacts a day from a who do you know list. I'll never, ever get to the end of it. And I'll show you why as I talk. 3 to 5 one-to-ones a week, I know, develops 2 people a month into my business. I want to sit down eyeball to eyeball with someone. There's only so much they can get with a video. I want to build a relationship with them. I want to get to know them. Carding, I was committed to put out 300 cards every single week through letterboxes. You know, when I was madly building my business, I would do this early in the morning. Advertising. I choose to advertise in the magazines that go out to parents, because I'm a parent, so I can build a rapport with these people. Events, doing 1 per month. So you need to be writing your job description. This is my job description, and I'm committed to do it day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. Experience packs, 2 per week. Again, you saw the results from Nat this morning with her experience packs. Product launches, 1 a month. I still do 1 a month for me. Not necessarily at my house, but at other people's houses, because it's the quickest way to develop customers and relationships for your who do you know list. So if you're not doing that, you're missing a trick. Networking groups, this was my biggest fear. I was the shyest person in the world, so the thought of getting up in a group of other people and saying what I did terrified me. But the fear of not delivering a life for Will and Rosie and now Phoebe was smaller than the doing it. And also, you might choose contact marketing. That's not one of mine. I don't particularly like it, so I know I won't commit to doing it. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I use Facebook, always have. Learning a bit of Instagram, don't use LinkedIn. But other people do recruit from it. So pick what you're going to stick to. So let's have a look where those 302 people came from. 80 people came from my who do you know list. So this is the original list I wrote when I started my business 12 and a half years ago. Unfortunately, those 80 people didn't get started on that first call, but I've followed up on them over the years. And maybe, you know, they weren't interested in the business, but they've given me a referral, they've had a product launch. So it's working that list that's going to develop all of those other things. So when someone says to me, no, I'm not interested, always leave the door open so that you feel like you can go back. Mum came back for 10 years. My sister, 7 years. And a bit like Kyle, my sister banned me and my mum from talking about forever. Literally, she would walk out. She might be the little one, but she's fierce. So I would just say, that's no problem. I appreciate you taking the time to take a look. Would it be okay if I keep you informed from now and then? Because everyone's lives change. I'm sure your life is different from a year ago, 3 years ago. So when was the last time you revisited your who do you know list? You've got an ideal opportunity with a new First Steps to Manager. Start using it so you can coach it. Use the memory joggers. Download your Facebook friends. This is the list that's going to create the lifestyle that you're looking for. So 80 came from my who do you know list. The rest came from the activities I was committed to do. It came from my job description. And every activity continues to grow my who do you know list. So 12 and a half years in, I haven't got to the end of it. There's nobody in that room that can get to the end of their list if you're committed to doing your job description. Lots of you might know Tina Gillies, Claire Spencer, Ange Loughran, Debbie Nwangwa, Natalie Valenti. Why am I mentioning all these people? 9 in this line have actually been on the GLT over the years, and it came about because I was prepared for business. Rosie was 3, I was putting the pushchair into the car, and somebody handed me a flyer. On the flyer was a massage. The guy handing it to me, I said, "Is this your business?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Take this," and gave him an experience pack, and we swapped numbers. I followed him up, I met up with him, he joined the business. I went to do a planning meeting in his place of work, and I bumped into Tina on the stairs, who also worked there as a physio. We exchanged numbers. I phoned her 20 times. Are you here, Tina? Yep. Phoned her 20 times. She finally agreed to meet me. I followed up. She wasn't as excited about me as I was. She didn't know what forever could deliver. I did, she didn't. But I was committed to keep following up. She joined the business, and the rest is history. So be prepared for business all the time. 12 came from contact marketing. And I just told you, contact marketing is not one of my activities. It's not an activity I'm committed to do, like get 5 numbers a week, 10 numbers a week, because I don't like it. And there's lots of activities we don't like, but this wasn't one I was going to choose to master. However, obviously, I've mastered it naturally. You know, if I'm in an environment where I'm talking to someone and it comes up into conversation, I can recruit them. I'm doing a one-to-one on Monday with a waitress from a restaurant I was in last Friday, because it came into natural conversation. So I recruited 12 people that way. 20 came from events. This is a great means of recruiting. And even if you're not recruiting from the event, I'm doing one-to-ones, those 3 to 5 one-to-ones. It doesn't mean they all say yes. I'm getting product launches. I'm getting experience packs out. It's making that business cycle spin. So I've recruited 20 people from that, and obviously loads of customers. 35 people joined from adverts. I don't actually do adverts so much anymore, but this is something I did very much in the early years. And maybe it's something I should be going back to. And you know, out of those 35 people that I recruited, quite obviously, there were more people I met. More people are on my who do you know list that might come into the business one day. More of them had experience packs, became customers, gave me a referral. So you see, all of these activities feed other parts of the business as well. Carding, 300 cards a week, and I've recruited 6. But how many one-to-ones have I had? How many referrals? How many new customers? How many experience packs? How many product launches where I've then gone and recruited someone? You see, we can't be too concerned about the result, because it's doing it which is part of our job description, which delivers everything. Do you see what I'm saying? 12 joined from being customers. So these customers, they weren't on my who do you know, they're not customers that were on my who do you know list. These are customers that will have come from events, from experience packs, from referrals. So looking after your customers is always key. 7 came from that networking event that I feared. I went once a week. Mine was a mum's networking group. Again, this isn't something I do at the moment, simply because, I'm working my business differently now and allocating my time differently. But this is a big way of recruiting. Again, it's feeding all of those other avenues. You might recognize that face. You just saw Gary Graham on the stage. That's Gemma's partner. Gemma joined from following me on Facebook. I didn't know she was following me. We weren't friends, but she had been watching me. Would anyone like a Gemma Easton to be watching them? Yeah? So always be consistent with your social media. Always be you. You heard Lisa Prescott say, be the best version of you. Don't try and be someone else, because people will join you because they like you. They like that persona. So when they get started with you, it'd be really odd for them if you become someone else. So 13 people came from Facebook. And you saw Facebook wasn't one of my activities. Facebook's something that goes on in the background, that I do on a daily basis, but it doesn't take my focus. The other income-producing activities take my focus. Referrals. When someone said no to you, are you saying, can you recommend just one person that might be open to earning some extra money right now? Are you saying to your customers, can you recommend just one person that might also benefit from drinking the gel? Referrals are key to our business. Experience packs, 18. Are you getting 2 experience packs out a day consistently? Again, this isn't my job description, if you like, my constant activity from networking, advertising, a bit like Facebook. This goes on. This is what we have to be doing anyway. We have to be retailing the products. And experience packs is a key way to do it. How many of you are in a job? How many of you can just say to the person sat next to you, the person that you chat to in the canteen, take this home, try it for a couple of days? How many of you go to the gym and can take a few products in a little bag and say, take that home with you? Use it after your spin class. That heat lotion's amazing. 2 experience packs a day will build your business, retail-wise, but recruitment-wise. So you've got your first steps to manager. You need to get to know your stats. I know 20 people will give me 2 recruits from doing between 3 and 5 one-to-ones every week. I know where I'm going. I know what my goals are. I know why I'm prepared to do the job description. So think to yourself, do you know your stats? How many people have you got to talk to recruit? Keep it tracked, keep out whether you're doing one-to-ones, how many you need to do, how many videos you need to send out, whether you're getting people to the business presentation. Because if you're keeping an activity tracker and maybe your sponsoring isn't happening as quickly as you like, you can go to your upline and say, can you have a look? Can we sit down and look at this? So statistically, 1 in 10 warm market will join you. So warm market are people that we know, compared to 1 in 20 cold market. And sometimes it's easier to be doing cold market than warm market for some people, but you've got to work a lot harder. So do a little bit of everything. Your stats are going to change depending on the time of the year. My business is very much made up of mums. I know in August, my stats are going to be very different to what they are in September. So just to understand that, start monitoring your activity. And your stats are going to change depending on the activity. So start working out how many one-to-ones in person it takes to recruit compared to how many online. How many videos you need to send. How many people are you getting to a business presentation? So remember that funnel? I always draw out in planning meetings the funnel and talk about putting those 20 people in. Speaking to 5 new people a day will give you 35 people a week to go in the funnel if you're engaging in that conversation and they're taking the information. To recruit 1 to 2 a month, we need 20 people. Start planning your activity. In the back of your first steps to manager, you've got your 7-day plan. You've also got one as an example and your blank one. So start printing them out. And on a Sunday, plan who you're speaking to. Plan your retail activity. Plan your 5 forms of activity that you're going to be committed to on a daily basis. Plan to get out of your comfort zone, because we're never going to grow if we remain in this circle. You've got to step out. I love this one. Your pity party. You've got to get your pity party down to 5 minutes. We're going to have disappointments. We're going to have challenges. We're going to have someone laugh at you like my sister did at me. But we're going to see her up here in a minute. You don't take it to heart. Just think, in 5 years' time, will that challenge, that disappointment be affecting you? And chances are it won't. So don't let your pity party last more than 5 minutes and stop you from building your business. Think what you want your life to look like in 5 years from now. I wrote a plan. I wrote out my life as if I was living it in 5 years' time. The car I was driving, the school the kids were going to, what I was doing in my spare time, where I was going on my holidays. And you saw that plan in my collage picture on the first slide. It happened because I planned it. I started visualizing it. If you think back 5 years, think of where you're at today and think ahead 5 years and what you want to accomplish. You have to be unstoppable. You've seen the Stockholm incentive. There's still time. Commit to going out to that wall, making your commitment, and being with us in Stockholm. Who's committed to be there? Woo! Take a picture. Put your hands up if you're committed. The only thing that's stopping you is you. You know you can. Just listen to the reason why, rather than maybe your challenges, your disbelief, your whatever in yourself. Listen to why you're here. Thank you very much.